and welcome back to another session of Commerce class with me, Suman Rathore. Friends, due to the numerous merits attached to the company form of organization, it has become the most popular form of organizing business enterprises. And this development led to the creation of so many different types of companies as you can see in this chart. So in today's session, we are going to discuss all the different types of companies one by one. So, on the basis of ownership, companies can be classified as one-man company, public company, private company, and government company. Now let's understand these one by one. First is one-man company. One-man company is a new category of company introduced to encourage startups and young entrepreneurs. Such companies have separate legal identity distinct from their sole owners, and the liability of the owners in case of one-man company is limited, which means the personal property or assets of the owner cannot be used for paying off the debts of the company. Next is government company. A government company is a company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by central government or by any state government or jointly by central and state governments. Such companies have separate legal identity independent of the government, and the annual report of such company is presented in the parliament for discussion about their working and future prospects. Next is public company. A public company is a company which has minimum paid up capital of rupees 5 lakhs or more and invite general public to subscribe to its share capital and debentures. The shares of public company are freely transferable. A public company has minimum 7 members and there is no limit on maximum number of members in public company. Next is private company. A private company has minimum paid up capital of rupees 1 lakh or higher, but they don't invite general public to subscribe to their share capital and debentures. There are restrictions on transfer of shares in case of private company, but a private company can have minimum of 2 members and the maximum number of members is 200. Then, on the basis of liability, companies can be classified as first, unlimited liability company, second, company limited by shares, third, company limited by guarantee. So now, let's understand these. First is unlimited liability company. Unlimited liability company is a company in which the liability of members is unlimited, like that in case of partners in a partnership firm. If the company's assets are insufficient for satisfying the claims of its creditors, the personal property of members can be used to meet the obligations. However, the creditors of the company cannot directly sue the members. It is only the liquidator who, at the time of winding up, can call upon the members to contribute towards the assets of the company. Such companies are rarely found in India. Next is company limited by shares. The liability of members in such companies is limited to the extent of unpaid amount of shares held by them, and no separate property of the members can be used to pay the debts of the company. But the company can enforce this liability either during the lifetime of the company or at the time of winding up. For example, if X has purchased 50 shares of rupees 10 each and has paid rupees 6 per share, in this case, the liability of X is limited to only the unpaid amount of shares, that is rupees 4. Now, if the assets of the company are insufficient in paying the debts of the company, X cannot be forced to pay anything more than rupees 2000. which is remained unpaid by him on the shares held by him. Next is company limited by guarantee. In this type of company, the liability of every member is limited to the amount which he had undertaken to contribute to the assets of the company at the time of winding up. This amount is called guarantee and it should be mentioned in the Memorandum of Association. The amount of guarantee may differ from member to member. Such a company may or may not have share capital. But if the company has share capital, every member is liable to pay the amount unpaid on the shares held by him in addition to the amount of guarantee. This type of company is generally formed to promote art, literature, sports, education, and other non-business activities. Now, on the basis of incorporation, companies can be classified as first, chartered company, second, statutory company, and third, registered company. First is chartered company. A chartered company is established by a royal charter or special sanction by the head of the state. It is granted certain exclusive privileges and powers. Such companies were mainly formed for exploration or colonization. But this type of company is rare now due to decline of monarchies. Next is statutory companies. A statutory company is established by a special act of the central or state legislature. Its objectives, powers, and activities are defined by the special act or law under which it is created. But it is also subject to the provisions of the Companies Act. A statutory company is generally formed to run an enterprise of national importance, like Reserve Bank of India or State Bank of India or LIC of India, etc. Next is registered companies. Registered companies are the companies which are incorporated under the Companies Act 2013 or under any previous companies law. The formation, working and winding up of such company are governed by the provisions of the Companies Act. Registered companies are the most common type of companies in India. Then, on the basis of nationality, companies can be classified as first, Indian company and second, foreign company. First is Indian company. Indian companies are the companies incorporated in India under Companies Act 2013 or under any previous companies laws. Such companies may have foreign shareholders and they may also carry on their business outside India. Next is foreign company. Foreign companies are the companies incorporated outside India, but they have a place of business in India. They can carry on their business physically or through electronic mode in India. But they must deliver the prescribed document to the registrar of companies within 30 days of establishing a place of business in India. And finally, on the basis of control, companies can be classified as holding company or subsidiary company. So first is holding company. A holding company is a parent company that has control over a subsidiary company by way of holding more than 50% of its equity share capital. Holding company also have control over the board of directors of subsidiary company, but doesn't run day-to-day operations. A holding company may have any number of subsidiaries, but it cannot be held liable for the losses of subsidiary company. For example, if a subsidiary company goes bankrupt, its creditors cannot go after the holding company for their claims. Next is subsidiary company. Now, subsidiary company is a company in which another company holds more than 50% of its share capital and controls the majority of its board of directors. The workers and staff of subsidiary company are not considered as employees of holding company because holding and subsidiary companies are actually considered as independent legal entities and cannot be treated as one single unit. That's all for today. Thanks for staying in tune and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Thank you and goodbye for now.